Hey guys, welcome back to another AQ2D video. We're going to be going over some of the logs from AQ Worlds Mobile or AQ Worlds Infinity or AQ2D or whatever you want to call it. Now, the reason why I'm doing this video as well as the other videos that are similar to this is because I'm reviewing what they're doing on the game, which really shows the amount of work going into it. And you're going to see in this video what I mean by that, because the amount of work that they're doing behind the scenes that we don't even think of is crazy. Here's an example of what I mean. Hovering over NPC buttons will cause it to change color. These are in-game space, not UI space, so required extra work. So this is something that is essential, but this is never something that we think about. Warlick is working on the cloud builder. Now this is very important because this is a thing that's sending all the information to the different game ports like the iOS, the Android, Steam, etc. Yomi's working on spawn buttons. This is for the devs to be able to spawn monsters by name, not just ID. Spider's working on the implementation of the node system. Also, there are some feature requests and known issues in combat. One is sometimes the projectiles do not visibly cast. Sometimes skills do not fire. The range needs implemented. I don't get it. Currently attacking grabs a random oh, I see. It randomly targets a monster. Spider and Arctix wants to make combat extremely fast, action-packed, and more anime-like. It needs to be backwards compatible with the existing system. So this is going to be really a big step when it comes to the whole combat thing, as that's going to be really huge. Now, if you've noticed, I have skipped some stuff. I'm just trying to limit everything because some of it might, kind of go over your head. It certainly goes over mine. Tunic stylized drop-down boxes, now they look like AQ drop-downs. So that's going to be a little bit nicer. The mobile chat keyboard height fixes. So this is something that they had an issue with previously. Item publishing projects being merged into a single project, which will allow all equipable items to be worked in one place. Currently, we have 4 different projects. Also says that pets have been decided that pets will be in the characters monsters project, so they can be used as monsters, companions, or things that players could potentially turn into. So that'd be kind of cool to have like morphs like that. If you guys had ever played through the April Fool's event, you did see we were able to be ponies. So that'd be kind of cool. We will need to add additional animations to pets when reanimating them, because again, that is something that is a big thing a lot of people are not expecting, but they need to completely animate, like reanimate everything in the game. So that's gonna be a lot of work right there. Color customization for pets is possible, but has not yet been implemented. No creation system has been made yet for creating a pet, so that will come in the future. In another post, Arctix asks what device you'd be using AQ Worlds Infinity on. Well, for me, it's going to be Steam, definitely, but I will also play it on my Android. I don't think I'll play it on my Apple. Arctix says the game ran very smooth on the Apple phone. He explains a little bit here what the cloud builder is. Now, basically, it's already what I had explained, how it sends the information to all of the different platforms, and that is what the cloud builder does. A little known fact, Warlick made the cloud builder for AQ3D2. It is AQ3D, not AQ3D2, AQ3D, and it is one of the most important tools for the game because, of course, without it, you're not going to have that information being sent to those different platforms without having to manually do it. It would be very difficult. It says, meanwhile, had an important meeting about combat and classes with Spider and Et. We will go into detail about this in the future posts. Actually, it might be nice if Spider and Et wrote I don't know, is it Et? I'm not sure how to say that. But anyways, yeah, they're going to be writing a future post, possibly about it. As I mentioned previously, there's small little things we never think about. Here's another one of those, adding color picker for fonts and backgrounds so that they'd be able to add colors to their fonts and stuff. It's not something we think about, but this is something that needs to be manually added in. So it's crazy, this little tiny things we never think of. In an additional post, Arctix said AQ Worlds Infinity is not available to play yet, but when you do inevitably log in, instead of log in, you will do so using your existing character. The goal is for everything to load and look as the original. So This is not as easy as people would expect. Today's challenge was the character skin, and this is earlier I was saying how little small things that you never think about. This is one of the reasons why I said that. So it says when they started building color customization, they noticed that the shadows looked muddy when they simply darkened them. So they have 3 different colors that they use: a base, a darker for shadows, and then a lighter for highlights. And this way it gives it that anime look. But to make the colors more natural and anime life-like, they added a peachy, fleshy red using a blend mode, which works well in those other ones. Unfortunately, it does not work quite the same in AQ Worlds Infinity because they're running through Unity, not Flash. So it works a little bit differently. So then it said they need to come up with different approaches on how to make it work flawlessly, because if it works for one thing, it might not work for another. So they got to tweak it to make it work. So it says when you finally do log in to AQ Worlds Infinity and see your character for the first time and notice that your skin looks pretty darn close to what it does in the original, you will know we went that extra mile for you. So, and this is what I was talking about earlier. Like, it's just the small little things like this that they're spending time on to do, because even a little small thing like this turns out to be pretty important, especially when you're going, why does my character look stupid? So it's crazy the amount of work. Warlock finished the content builder, so it's now usable, but it's not live on the cloud builder machines because they don't want to cause any issues with AQ3D. Clicking to walk or using the arrow keys currently waits until the server responds to make you move. This is most visible on WASD. Going to remove it on the client so players see their characters walk immediately. So that'll make it a little bit more fluent. Really cool though that you're able to use WASD though. That's awesome. Quest trackers appear to be broken, so they're going to be investigating that. Did some major dialogue system changes. Tunic worked on that and refactored code. No idea what that is talking about. Clicking on a text box will open the properties window and populate the data on the page, making it so you can edit the box. This would come in very handy for devs, obviously not something we would be ever seen access to. When you log out or get kicked, it destroys the game prefab and then reinitializes it properly, clearing everything. So I guess that's the way it's supposed to work. Loading flames do not load into the prefab structure, handling this next. So far so good, needs more testing. If a player has not fully loaded or fails loading and is a blue flame, they get stuck in that permanently. So that's another thing on these little small things, that you just don't really think about. A command to destroy everything needs to be issued when switching frames. A login cleanup now is complete. So that's a nice improvement. And the blue flame cleanup, which I guess that is something they're working on or they just fixed, possibly. Features and bugs. Join when on the same map should take you to the initial spawn point of that map. When typing in chat, if you put in move commands like WASD after you hit enter, it will move your character. Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. That's a bug they need to fix, obviously. And then spawn commands suddenly stopped working. Oh no. So, as soon as it's funny though, because in game design, as soon as you fix one thing, another thing breaks. It's just the way it goes. But that is the newest update that we got with AQ Worlds Infinity. I am really looking forward to this. Now, they did mention previously something about a launch. This was talked about on one of the previous videos I mentioned, where they did talk about a launch being possible in fall. So who knows? We'll have to wait and see.